Okay, welcome back to the channel everybody. It's Mike Newton down here at Penrith Golf Hub, and we're carrying on the release of the new Cobra range for 2021, and we're going to take a look at the 3-wood, and it's the RAD Speed 3-wood from Cobra. So first impressions, great looking club. Interested to see how this performs. Just done the review of the drivers, that is on the channel. You can go and check that out in a little bit more detail, but in this video we're going to take a look at the 3-wood. Okay, so RAD Speed fairway wood. So this particular one, I've just got the RAD Speed, okay, and there's two other options. You've got a RAD Speed Tour and also a RAD Speed in a draw. Haven't at this present moment got those in my hand, so I'm just going to focus on this one. Hopefully they'll come, and I will put those videos out for those two other models. Focusing on this one particularly, this is a 3-wood, coming in at 14.5 degrees, also available in a 5-wood and a 7-wood, and there's lots of technology to talk about. We're going to go through all that as we hit these shots. We've got the TrackMan on the floor behind us here, so we can hit some shots. So first impressions for me, again, we all know I'm a little bit picky with fairway woods. 3-wood, as it sits behind the ball, I think the shape in the head is really, really nice. It does sit a tiny bit closed, a little bit toed in for me, which I'm never always a fan of. I've got this set as the standard at 14.5, so obviously I've got options to take the loft down through the neck sleeve and also back up, and obviously taking it down will slightly open the face, but obviously I'm going to lose some loft then, aren't I? And typically I think for a lot of golfers it's then, you know, this is where this interested test this is launching it off the ground. And that's where I'm going to test it. I always like to test fairway woods off the ground, because I think that is the hardest lie that you're going to get. You know, it's the least amount of club in your hands that you're going to hit a golf ball from the ground. So we need to test that, don't we? Off the tee is always a little bit easier. Okay, let's get a first one hit, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the technology in the head. Okay, touch up that left-hand side there, a little bit touching the heel. Felt okay, launched pretty nicely. Spin, yeah, spin a little bit on that high side, but got out there quite nice. Good bit of ball speed there, to be honest. So first impressions, when you look at the bottom of the club, we're seeing the traditional baffler hollow rails that Cobra have done for many, many generations of fairway woods, and I'm glad to sort of see that. I think it's a really good feature there. I think it cuts through that grass quite nicely, and what it's also helping to do is to get a little bit more flex put back into that low part of the face. So typically with a 3-wood, especially off the ground, your strikes would tend to be a bit low in the club face, or your misses can be quite low, can't they? So a little bit more flex. Well, they're saying it creates 70% more flex in that front bottom section of the face, which is a lot, isn't it? Lovely shaping down by the ball. You know, we've got that black gloss head, we've got that little bit of carbon effect there, we've got that little bit of lime green white sort of framing around that back section, just this little C with a king logo on the top. That's a nice shot. I'll tell you what, that gets up and away very, very easily. No issues with launching that at all. A bit more of a straighter shot there. So the first two strikes were definitely a little bit slightly low in the face. So we see that spin goes up. If I'm going to get one a little bit more up the club face, we should see that spin just drop a tiny bit. That's a better one. That's a good hit. Just up that left a fraction, just drawing off, but struck that one really nicely. Again, launching at 11. Or 10.4, you can see there, that's been a little bit lower there. So obviously the big talking point, I talked about this in the driver review, is the radial sort of weighting that we're doing here now. So the idea around radial weighting is what Cobra have found is it helps to increase ball speed. So you've got a centre of gravity point in the club head, and they're now positioning these weights in that front and that back section equal distances from that centre of gravity point. Okay, so what they are saying is when you do that, it helps to increase a little bit more speed off that club face. So we've got 16 grams positioned in the front section of this particular model, and then 7 grams in that back section. So a little bit more forward in that head, again helping with that little bit of that speed off that club face. Oh, again, just a fraction of that heel, but that flight's lovely. I mean, I know I've hit that in the heel. It's just come out a touch low, probably spun up a little bit more. Yeah, 4,000 there. That's just my little bit of strike, but it's straight, it's found the fairway, and it's not dropped off huge amounts there. Still 151 ball speed, decent. Right, okay, so what I've just done now, just obviously my picky eye on that club face sitting a little bit close to me. I've dropped the loft now by 1.5 degrees. So I've got this in its lowest format of loft, which is now 13 degrees. So 1.5 off you, 14.5, now 13. And that sits so much better at the ball. To me, that's a nice square club face. So ticking the box for me. It'd be interesting to sort of see what this influence is on this launch. And again, I'm going to hit this off the ground. This might be more of an option than enough for tee, maybe in that 13 degree, possibly like a driver sort of replacement. But again, I just want to try and sort of put a little bit of test into these rails on the bottom deflection. What Cobra's saying, this is a high launch, low spinning 3-wood. Yeah, that feels lovely. Again, it launches very, very easily. That was a nice strike there. Oh, just a bit on that toe. Just turn that over up that left-hand side. But again, strike's good. Again, there's absolutely no issues there. Just dropping my spin a little bit more. Obviously, that was a little bit more of a draw shape, wasn't it? But again, no issues of launching it. That's a cracker. That's a lovely shot. So as with all the clubs, the Cobra, they come as standard with the Cobra Connect in the butt end of the grip as standard, so you can track your shots when you're out on that golf course. This particular one, I've got the Motori X F3 shaft in it from Fujikura. So again, there's a lot of different short shaft options to sort of dial in. Oh, that's an absolute cracker to finish on. Absolutely arrow straight. Stunning, really nice, I like that. Nice fairway, it seems to launch very, very easily. Nice one to finish on. Okay, let's just go and check a few numbers out. Okay, so obviously, just look at the two numbers here. So we've got 14.5 degree in the bottom, and then we've got the 13 degree in the top section. So as you expect, club head speed isn't going to change. Ball speed, touch quicker with 13, as you'd expect. Slightly straighter face, you're going to see a tiny bit more ball speed, and we have sort of seen that. Launch there is quite interesting. It's at 9.2 with the 14.5 and actually launched a little bit higher there with the 13. Clearly those 8s and the 7s there just slightly low in the face strikes, aren't they? But again, it's just testing. Well, any golfer really will lose the strike low in the face on the fairway or off the ground. It's always going to happen, isn't it? So it's good to sort of test that. Yes, the launch is always going to come out a little bit lower, but the ball speed is still good, isn't it, on those slight low hits compared to the ones obviously slightly higher up the face. We see launch is higher. The ball speed is very, very similar, isn't it? So infinity face possibly doing a little bit of a job there. So you can see carry distance there, just a touch further at 13 as you expect, lower spin, which is probably where that extra distance is going to come from. Okay everybody, so there we go, there's the Cobra RAD Speed 3-wood, quite a nice 3-wood there. I think obviously I've got to put it into that setting there, so possibly there, if I want to try and get my loft around that sort of 14-15 degree mark, I'd probably be going into like the 5-wood. I think the 5-wood top of my head is 18.5, so then I could come down to 17, so I'm struggling to hit, if I wanted that 15 degree area, I'm struggling to get it as, you know, so the club sits as I would like to sort of sit it. As I say, this is, I'm having to put down 13 to get it to sit, which looks more pleasing to my eye. Having said that, it still launches absolutely great, and maybe 3-wood, is it a club that you're really trying to gap into your set? Possibly not as much as obviously you are with your irons, isn't it? So, but post comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on the new Cobra range, the RAD Speed, the 3-wood, but also the drivers, the irons, everything like that. Those videos will come on the channel. If not, they are already on there now. Okay, appreciate you watching the video as always, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.